Hi, my name is Kevin and I collect old irons.
Hi, my name is Theo, and I also collect old irons.
We have already done a part 1 in this series about the very oft manufactured irons that are commonly seen in Canada and also the United States. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the oddities, some of the rarities, some of the very desirable Canadian irons.
So here is an unusual Canadian iron. It's the Happy Fart iron. And I'm going to let Kevin explain how it works.
Well, this is not unusual to us, at least in terms of the general design. In the United States, we usually see this as the Acme company, and there are other companies as well. This one again, Happy Thought Carbon Iron Company, made in Canada.
So here is another unusual one. It's a charcoal iron, but it has a really catchy name. You Should Have It.
It's very much like the I Want You.
That's right. So this one has a date on it from 1908.
And I got to tell you, getting the handle off this one is not very easily done. You can see why this must be a rare iron.
So you can imagine when this iron is hot, you want to try it open and put more charcoal in there. Well, you're most likely going to burn your fingers.
And don't lose that piece.
There you go. Oh, by the way, we also made this in natural gas version. The top is exactly the same, except it has 2 screws on the top, so you can hold the top down a little bit more. Of course, it has the ventilation holes, and you can see the back is also a little bit different.
And there would be the little thing here that's broken off.
Right. Here's the next one.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yes, it's early charcoal iron is patented in 1868. It is manufactured by the James Smart Manufacturing.
It says the Smart on the handle.
It says Smart on the handle, and it also is manufactured under the Rockford patent.
May I?
You may have here.
So what's next?
This is next.
Wow.
It's a slug iron. Sometimes they call it a box iron as well. It's made here in London, Ontario in 1903. The date is cast in the top part, or pressed in the top part, I should say. It's all from regular small light steel. It opens up as follows, which is not always easy.
There never was a wooden knob here. It's just this piece of metal. Opening it when it's hot would have been very hard on the fingers.
To my knowledge, there's never been a wooden knob there. That's how it comes off. You can take the slug out with the slug lifter as follows.
And this is a pretty rare piece, right?
It's a very rare piece, but it's also very hard to put it back together.
The rare pieces, you can usually tell they're rare because they're hard to use and they didn't sell very well.
There it is. Okay, here's the next one.
Another slug iron.
Yes, this is Mr. Oldacre's famous smoothing iron.
And it couldn't have been that famous because this is a rare piece, right?
That's right. It's only one of a kind. I never seen another one or heard from another one. This iron was made here in London, Ontario as well. It's really hard to open up, but we'll give it a try here and see what happens.
And this is really, really neat. Oh, I get the
So the slug will stay on it. You put it on the stove. And it's supposed to release completely.
And then you put another slug in and put it back in here, right?
Then you can let the slug heat up with a fire or with a wood stove. And there it is. So you can imagine that how hard it is to operate this iron. And now you know why there's only one of a kind.
I'll be looking for one of these.
Okay, here we have the next one.
Oh, this has got to be another slug iron. This is the Taylor's Hero Sat Iron.
Again, it is one of a kind. I never seen another one. We don't know where it's made. We know it's Canadian because of the Canadian patent. We did find that. It's also a little tricky to open it up, but we'll give it a try. It hinges Now there gotta be a special slug remover to do it.
I'll use my hands. Certainly wouldn't do this while it was hot. But it does come out around the hinge.
And there it is.
Wow. So Theo, what's next?
Well, the next one is what I think is in the rotating iron, and I think it's the only rotating iron made in Canada. It is from the Rex specialty. It is made in Windsor, Ontario. And
can I demonstrate the
you can
rotating?
demonstrate it.
So now, how you rotated, there was no device or tool we know of. I assume they used a glove hand. Obviously you wouldn't do this with your bare hands. And you can...
Okay, so what happened is if you burn the heater, of course the heat will go up.
And
so
the natural gas comes in through this.
Correct. So the heat will go up, and of course we'll heat the top part, and the bottom part will stay kind of cool. So that's why you rotate it around, so you can iron with the warm part, and it gives the cold part a chance to warm up.
And I especially like the rotating irons, and this is one on my want list.
Good luck with that. The next one is gas iron.
I call this a gasoline iron.
Well, you can call it a gasoline iron, I call it a gas iron, and I call natural gas irons natural gas irons.
There's a lot of semantics here back and forth between us.
Anyway, this iron is made in Ingersoll, Ontario, and it is the ideal self-heating iron. The company who made it is the Morris Company, and the Morris Company made only nuts and bolts, so it is quite amazing that it started to expand into irons. However, it is the only iron I ever seen, so it's one of a kind.
And I have the very rare wrench that goes with this.
Well, the wrench is rare, but the iron is just as rare. Okay, the wrench is to adjust the amount of fuel that will go to the burner.
So this is a rocking hand fluter, and as far as I know, this is the only design rocking hand fluter made in Canada. There are variations.
That's right. This one is made by the Smart and Shepherd company from Brockville. It's a different company than the James Smart from Brockville. Or they are related or not, we're not sure, but it's possible. They made two versions of this rocker fluter. One with the brass plate.
And the bottom says heat this just like the Geneva iron. So that's obviously the source of the design or the original molds.
So I think we can finish this video off with a very rare Goffling iron. First of all, it's a double barrel Goffling iron. It's made in Toronto. And how do we know it's made in Toronto? Well, it says it right here on the bottom. It's made by the Cladsworthy company in Toronto. The bottom is cast, but it is plated by a small thin brass plate.
And how rare is this?
This is one of a kind. I've never seen another one.
But we're looking.
Very unique.
Well, there are a lot more Canadian irons in the Canadian Quarter in this warehouse here, but that's a good enough stopping point for now. And if you have any questions about Canadian irons, you might as well ask Theo here personally, and we will include his email address in the descriptions. We, as always, thank you for clicking these videos, and please leave comments and questions if you have. Subscribe and
Thumbs up.